Hello everyone, my name is Lucie Cadoren and I am a member of the WIMIX research team at INRIA Sophia Antipolis. In this video, I will present you our work about mining RDF data of COVID-19 scientific literature for interesting association rules. This work has been supervised by Andrea Tetamendi. First, let's go back to the origin of this project. The COVID-19 pandemic has mobilized the world scientific community and yelled a huge scientific literature around the world. Then the Allen Institute published a dataset called COVID-19 and gathering around 200,000 articles about coronaviruses. However, the number of articles is so large that it will be impossible for any researchers to be aware of all of them. This problem might be solved by knowledge graph and linked open data. So the WIMIX team decided to join the global efforts by starting a project called COVID on the Web. The goal of this project has been to publish knowledge graph based on the COVID-19 dataset to help researchers in their search of literature. Two main modules have been released. The first one is called COVID-19 Name Entities Knowledge Graph, which contains name entities mentioned in COVID-19 corpus and linked to Wikidata, DBpedia, or other bioportal vocabularies. The other one is a graph of arguments called the COVID-19 Argumentative Knowledge Graph. While those graphs are already an efficient tool to support the search of literature, we thought it would be even more interesting to use data mining to find hidden knowledge in the name entities knowledge graph. Thus, we decided to apply associational algorithm to this RDF dataset to try to enrich and clean the dataset and maybe suggest novel hypotheses to biomedical researchers. First of all, I would like to give you an overview of what is associational mining and what can be the limits to better understand our work. So the idea of associational mining is to find frequent patterns in a large transactional database. Here, our database is composed of forms, which are called items, and we have 5 transactions. The transactions can be seen as the purchase of items. And thanks to those transactions, we can find rules. A rule is composed of an antecedent and a consequent. So if we have X in a transaction, we will have Y with a certain probability. This is a rule. And to help to select a rule, we have traditional metrics such as support and confidence. So the support is the probability to have the antecedent and the consequent together in a transaction. And the confidence is the probability to have the consequent knowing we already have the antecedent in a transaction. So let's compute and compare two rules. So the first one is the circle and the triangle. The support is 0.6 because the circle and the triangle are together in 3 transactions among 5. And for the cloud and the triangle, it's only 0.2 because they are together only in 1 transaction. For the confidence, the circle is in 4 transactions and the triangle is in 3 of them. So the confidence is 0.75. For the cloud, it's in only 1 transaction and the triangle is with the cloud. So the confidence is 1. But the question here is which rules is the most interesting or the most accurate according some measure. So to help answering this question, the association algorithms has parameters to tune: the minimum support, the minimum confidence, and the minimum length. The length of a rule is the number of items that in the rule. So here we have only 2 elements, so the length is 2. And the minimum support plays an important role in the selection of the rules. And it can be really hard to choose the minimum support. If it is too low, we will get too many rules and the rules will be too general, too common, and it's not interesting for us. On the other hand, it is too high, we can miss some rules, uncommon rules. For example, here, if we set the support to 0.3, we will only find the circle and the triangle. But the confidence of the cloud and the triangle is higher. So it may be interesting to find this rule. Also, the circle and the triangle has a higher support only because the circle is in a lot of transactions. It is a very frequent items. And it's not interesting to find rules that are composed with very frequent items because we are not interesting by knowing that the circle is with the other forms because it's always with the other forms. So we want to find more rules. So here is the limits of the traditional associational algorithm. And we faced this problem during our study, and that's why in the following we will try to answer how to find interesting rules. In the literature, we found some solutions that suggest to apply preprocessing on the database. We also find new metrics, such as redundant rules and interestingness measure, that are applied in the post-processing part. And our approach and contribution is to try different pre- and post-processing methods and combine them. So first we applied the pre-processing method, and the idea is to gather items and or transactions thanks to clustering or community detection. And then we will apply the association algorithms to these new groups of items or transactions to find more specific rules. The main difference between clustering and community detection is the input, the representation of data. The clustering uses a transactional matrix computed with, for example, one-hot encoding, while the community detection is based on graphs, which is computed by co-occurrences matrix. However, both of them suffer from the cost of dimensionality. It means that if we have too many items or too many transactions, it will be impossible to find or compute groups. So we face this problem because we have too many items and too many transactions. So we apply the dimensionality reduction methods such as PCA or autoencoders. And the idea is to learn and create a latent space which has significantly fewer variables. Finally, our main contribution is to combine all of these methods. So for example, we first want to gather items by detecting community. However, we have too many items, so we tried dimensionality reduction methods. Then we perform community detection and find some groups of items. We select one, here community 1, and we build a new transactional matrix with only those items and the whole transaction. So we have a smaller transactional matrix where we apply clustering to find group of transactions. And inside each group of transactions, we apply associational algorithm to find more specific rules. And we repeat it for each community and each cluster. So our second contribution is to propose filtering rules. We use the traditional metrics, such as the minimum support and the minimum confidence, but we also try new metrics or other metrics. For example, we remove the redundant rules, and we implemented a measure called interestingness that penalizes the items that are very frequent as antecedent or consequent in a rule. So in our example, at the beginning, the circle was too frequent and it was the antecedent. So its support here would be very high. So this term would be really low. And so the interesting measure would penalize the circle compared to the cloud. So maybe we will say the cloud and the triangle are more interesting rules than the circle and the triangle. So in the last part, I'm going to show you our approach applied to the COVID on the web dataset. So the dataset is composed of about 27,000 articles and 6,000 name entities. The name entities have been identified in the abstract of the articles and disambiguated by entity fishing and linked to Wikidata. We also split the data in two parts. The first part is for discovering rules and the second one to evaluate models. You can see a sample of our dataset. So the transaction has a paper ID and the items as the name entities. The topics of the name entities are really diverse. We have some about biological and also about web companies. And the database has other features such as name of authors, date of publication, and so on, but we only use those two features for our work. After collecting data, we applied 5 different models. The first one is a clustering models that cluster papers, the transaction, with a hierarchical ascendant clustering. As we have too many papers, we use autoencoders to try to reduce the dimensionality. The two second ones are community detection. The first one is based on WAC-TRAP, an algorithm that is a vertices-based algorithm. And the second one is only hierarchical ascendant clustering on the co-occurrences matrix. So the difference is the input. And also the transaction item that are gathered. And finally, we combine models. So these two last models are a combination. So the first one is a community detection WAC-TRAP with the clusters, and the second one is the other community detection with the clustering. To perform the association rule algorithm, we use the frequent pattern growth algorithm. Now I'm going to present you the results. So we evaluated the model with different metrics that I present some here, and we compare them to a baseline. So the baseline is simply the associational algorithm without any preprocessing. So the first plot is the number of rules before and after filtering rules in each model. So what we can see, it is the baseline detecting a lot of rules at first glance, but after filtering, less than 2% are kept. So it means that the baseline, so without any preprocessing part, detect only common and general rules. On the other hand, the clustering models discover fewer rules, but after filtering, we kept 17% of the rules. So it means that the rules are more surprising and more interesting according to our measure. In overall, the models are better. The model with preprocessing are really better to find rules, more interesting rules, because we see it with the higher percent of rules kept after filtering. So the second evaluation consists of a 2x2 comparison of the number of rules that are in both models. Thanks to this metric, we can analyze if a model is able to create novelty by providing rules that are not in another model. So, for example, community detection are really bad at it here, because, for example, this one has 100% of its rule in common with the baseline, this one almost 50%. But on the other hand, the clustering is really good, because only 2.6% of its rule is in the baseline. So it means that this model brings novelty and surprising rules. Also, the two last models, the combination, are not bad because the numbers are pretty low. They are, of course, similar with the clustering method because they are a combination of it, but not all of its rules are in common with the clustering. So it means that some rules are detected and they are not in the other models. So to conclude this evaluation, the preprocessing part seems to be really useful to find more interesting rules. Also, the clustering method is the most powerful models. And the post-processing parts help us to evaluate the novelty and interestingness of a rule. Finally, I would like to show you some rules and application of our work. So in this table, we identified some rules that seem for us correct. So the rules are really diverse. For example, it's about symptoms of COVID-19. So if we have fever and dyspnea, we will have cough. It's correct. It's about also some facts in the news. For example, the surgical mask and respirator. It seems to be correct because we had a lack of these two things. So it seems correct to have both of them in a rule. And we have some, for example, web companies, Facebook and Twitter. The rule seems correct because they are together social media. So yeah, it's correct. And as you can see, the rules are not only about biology or biological or medical aspect, but also about social and economic one. So it is interesting for us, even if we target the biomedical research, we also try to show that the rules are not only about biomedical. And finally, I present you two applications of the rules to the COVID on the web dataset. We managed to detect some clusters, for example, about COVID-19, other diseases, and about biological aspects. And these clusters can help to enrich the dataset and find new insights. Also, we can curate the database because we detected some errors during the disambiguation part of name entities. Most of them are due to some acronyms, small words that have been detected. So for example, we found the rules with Nokia N95 and personal protective equipment. This is a mobile phone, but it is about personal protective equipment in hospital and during a pandemic. So it's not a mobile phone, it's probably a surgical mask, N95. But the name entities detector found the name N95 and linked it to Nokia N95. And thanks to this rule, we can try to identify the problem during the disambiguation part. In conclusion, we have proposed methods combining clustering, community detection, and dimensionality reduction for discovering association rule in a RDF knowledge graph. We also try a post-processing filter to evaluate and find the most interesting rules, and we apply it to the COVID-19 name entities knowledge graph. As a future work, we would like to enrich and curate the database with an automated process. So as I show you, we detected errors, but we don't have an automatic process. We would like also to apply our approach to other name entities and maybe add features such as name authors, date of publication. There is an ongoing work on data visualization to make the rules more interactive and try to validate the rules by a medical expert. Here is the end of my presentation, so thank you for your attention.